In this episode, we continue on our biggest adventure so far. And for me, a lifelong dream that comes true. A non-stop 4,000 nautical miles sail across the Pacific Ocean, the biggest ocean on our planet. After decades of dreaming, the reality kicks in as we finally leave Panama after several years of planning with ups and downs. With almost endless numbers of sunsets and sunrises ahead, our plan is to drop the anchor outside Fatu Hiva as our first stop in French Polynesia. Hopefully without too many challenges or situations to deal with. But 4,000 nautical miles is a very long sail, and anything can happen, and even though it's well prepared adventure. Land ho! Fatu Hiva, the island of my childhood hero Torheda. In the previous episode, we finally set sail over the Great Pacific, the biggest ocean on our planet, after lots of last-minute challenges and even losing G's wallet in the taxi only hours before departure. Now we are continuing our journey towards Fatu Hiva in French Polynesia as our first stop on this 4,000 nautical miles non-stop sailing. Not only is this my longest non-stop sail ever, it's the first ocean crossing G ever experienced as well. It's also a proof of the possibility to realize a lifelong dream and to make it happen after decades of dreaming. I'm geared up with clothes because combination of being a little bit tired, I guess, but also here on the Pacific side it's a little bit colder than in the Caribbean side. So at night I wear a sailing jacket and actually also long pants. I hate to freeze, that's why I'm not in Norway, that's why I'm sailing in tropical climates. We are still in a bit unstable region where the wind changes more or less constantly, meaning it's either jibe or change the configuration to keep going. This time we choose to change the course a bit to have less rolling as the waves picked up a bit after the long-lasting squall. We are also entering waters even labeled in the map with a heads up in terms of risk for tidal current waves. And with the sunrise we get more waves and less wind, but strong currents are pushing us the right direction for now. This will change as we later will have to pass not only the doldrums, but unfavorable currents that potentially could reverse our progress. We hose down B3 before we set sail to rinser for the ashes that polluted the air in Panama City. Still, after some heavy rain showers we still see black dusts everywhere. And the difference being out here is significant. We both feel the air is so clean and even a bit cold, but so refreshing as we are surfing away enjoying this feeling. Being far enough out of the Panama Gulf, it feels like the right moment to start flying some light wind sails. And for the next few days, this would be our configuration. We are not moving very fast, but at least we are moving and in the right direction. Still, we have not even reached south of Galapagos, meaning we have more than 3,000 nautical miles to go on this endless blue ocean. Daily updates of our position to our shore crew and also plotting the boats around us. Keeping track of each other out here is part of my safety planning. And here is the position of our friends leaving Panama before us.
See you later!
They are heading to the Galapagos, as was part of my original plan some years ago. But now it's just too expensive with everything it means to visit for just a short time. So part of the Pacific crossing is actually endless change of sails, and some are voluntary and some are not voluntary. So on the side here we have the code 1 that again fall in the water. So the hailer snapped, and I don't know what's wrong this time, because it's been like a everlasting problem with this code 1. The hailers was too weak. I bought a stronger hailer, then the entire fitting with the entire cassette with the wheel came out, poof, and code 0 in the water. This was back in 2020, pre-pandemic, as part of my first Pacific preparations. The original fitting from Selden was just too weak, and this was what was left at the masthead. So I had to handmade new frame for the new Selden wheel that I got shipped in from Sweden to Shelter Bay in Panama. This time, luckily, it was only the hailer that snapped, but come on, in 4, 5, 6 knots of wind, it's nothing. So it's something wrong. I have to figure it out. But that means no light wind sails for the rest of the passage, unfortunately. So we've been experimenting a little bit with wing on wing with the smaller Genoa and together with the bigger Genoa. But now we are close to equator in the doldrums, and it's basically absolutely no wind. So now it's time to clean up the mess here. It's not that dramatic, but knowing we have more than 3,000 miles to go, it's quite a setback to not have any light wind options for now.
You need my hand?
With extreme light winds peaking at only 10 knots when rain passes, a negative ocean current engine was our go-to solution. Otherwise we would be drifting backwards at 2 knots. With Starlink on board, we could fast and easy look at updated maps telling what to expect, not only in wind speed but also in ocean currents, and even sharing this information with our friends out here. So we kept on motoring for many hours to reach a location where the current goes to 0 and even start moving slightly the right direction for us. So after reaching the more favorable position in terms of ocean currents, we decided to just take down the sails and drift for the next 24 hours. For now, burning diesel makes very little difference, as we will get some wind tomorrow and easily eat up the miles in difference. A good opportunity to get some rest and even take the dinghy out of the garage for easy access to the generator. The generator worked fine when leaving Panama, as it was one of my last things to service. But it stopped again, and after several days with little to no sunshine, we started to prepare the need of alternative charging. At the moment, the main engine alternator does not charge the massive power bank on board. As for now, this is only from solar or 220 volt charger via the diesel generator. The next morning we could see we were slightly outside of the wind and choose to motor for some hours again to reach the light winds that potentially could give us a ride towards more wind. And with the sunrise we were getting hopes of soon being able to sail again. I put a lot of effort into making my route planning and navigation, but of course it's a different story when you're out there. And to chase the wind is sometimes a little challenge, especially in places like this, but you have the clouds that kind of reveals, or not only kind of, it actually reveals where you can find wind. So I changed course a few times and actually even gone away from my route a few times to get some more wind, and it works. And I can show you another wind system that's in front of us now, and we are sailing up to catch that one to have a free ride to the next one. This of course also means rain showers, as you can see on the radar here. But this time, unfortunately, it also meant the kind of rain showers that kills the wind and left us barely moving at 4 knots. Can't win every time. These rain showers were expected and hoped for sooner than later, as we needed lots of water to hose off the light wind sails from the dip in the salt water. We are getting closer to Equator, but last night's been pretty tiring. A lot of wind change, everything from 0 wind to 30 knots, so it's confusing seas and some currents. Also very cloudy the last days, not much sun to the solar panels, so we are actually running the engine to make some progress and to also charge batteries. Yeah, so later today we will hopefully cross the equatorial line and are still pointing towards Galapagos. By tomorrow we should be south of Galapagos and have a more pleasant sail towards the Marquises. But for now we still have to fight our way down to Equator. Sailing in the doldrums, much faster than I expected. I mean, this place we are getting close to Equator is famous for light winds and almost no wind.
0. We just crossed Equator. Do you feel different?
Now
And now we're crossing it.
P3 is officially in South Pacific. So I'm not very superstitious, but we should give a little salute to King Neptune. And what's the better thing to do to share the best liquor you have on board? And for me it's aquavit. Maybe not the absolute best liquor I have on board, but it's definitely the most exotic one because it's hard to get outside of Norway. And also this has already crossed the equator twice before it ends up on a bottle. So this is among very few bottles of aquavit that actually crossed the equator 3 times. First 2 times on a oak barrel and then 1 time now on a glass bottle. So let's give a little shot for King Neptune and for the crew. For King Neptune, cheers!
Cheers.
For a safe journey in the South Pacific. then for the captain. Damn, this is good. For the crew.
Cheers, cheers. Oh, that's strong.
What?
Oh, yes, cheers.
So, normally B3 is 100% non-alcoholic, but this is a special occasion. Crossing the equator, we need to celebrate. And just a tiny little rest of the journey, no alcohol. So it's a mid-Pacific Passage treat, so made pizza. So let's see how it goes. And I also made some dough for focaccia. It's the first time, never made focaccia on board before, but I thought it was a good idea and on time to try it. So it's gonna be a little focaccia try to see how it goes. If it's good, I'm gonna make more. It's almost fascinating how little sunshine we have had so far. I heard stories from others telling the experience of struggling with having enough power on board between Panama and at least 5 degrees south of equator. With another sunset on our starboard side, we are still pointing south, as it's supposed to be more wind when we reach 5 degrees south. So fun to be sailing here in the doldrums. Not really, and it's not really sailing, it's drifting. So in this episode of Drifting with Thomas, we're gonna walk you through a few techniques about going 0 knots and actually sometimes even go backwards. So much fun. You can actually experience equator twice, maybe even 3 times in a very short moment. So yeah, you should try it. It's experience for life. If it was the sarcasm that worked out by insulting the weather gods, or the fact that we start to come further south that helped, I'm not sure. But shortly after this, wind picked up and we were finally starting to see boat speed be free worthy, both at night and even at the next days to come. Thank you so much for watching and for subscribing. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and to see you here next week when we sail into Fatu Hiva after even more challenges on board. All the best and cheers from Be Free.
Singing my